test out. So the first thing I already noticed, like this is a quite interesting PC. Also when you're looking at the specifications. Yeah, so I really love the design itself. Take consideration you can buy this thing separately. You can just pick it up from AliExpress and just buy it, slap a hard drive in it with some Botacera, and you will have the same result. With this unique design and the power that's inside, you can play a lot of cool games. But the question remains, what can we actually play? This thing comes with an i9 Intel, but it is only an older one and in combination with an GTX, not an RTX. So this is not the most powerful one out there, but also when you're looking at them, sometimes you can find them for a pretty good price. But also take consideration, yeah, they are not really cheap. The Super Console X G6. It's just an Intel mini PC. Comes with an i9, but it's a 9th generation in combination with the GTX1650. But it comes also with the Intel HD Graphics 630, 60GB of DDR4 single channel, and later on we're going to be upgrading this to dual channel or 2x 8GB, and an internal SSD or an M2 SSD with Windows 11 that we're going to later on test also on Emulation. But the first part I just wanted to check out with some Botacera. Front, we're going to get a very clean look. We have like the on-off switch over here, but the only thing is like we don't have any USB ports. A little bit of a bummer because I really love to plug in the controllers at the front part. On both sides we're going to get ventilation over here, and at the back we do going to get all of the connections, and we do have like some interesting ones. To begin with, we do get a jack out, RJ45 internet, we do get 4 ports USB 3.0, 2 USB 2.0, HDMI, display port, and Type C for charging, and we're going to get ourselves the input for the power supply. And the power supply, oh boy, it's a big one. So this we're going to get ourselves a 90 volts. This is almost like an 8 amp. So the power supply, yeah, we're going to need it for a powerful device like this. But again, it's a bulky one. But let's take a close look in the inside. Opening up is going to be super easy. We only need to have like a removing of 4 screws. We need to get ourselves a pry tool, and you just can click it open and open it like that. Super easy. But when you took a close look in the inside, we do got this gigantic board. It's not like a big complexity where we have seen before with tiny chewy boxes. But the only thing we're going to get one big PCB. Here we have like the hard drive 2TB with Botacera, and here we have like the gigantic cooler. The cooling design is quite interesting. It basically sucks the air from here, from the top. Yeah, I must say that I am not a big fan of this, because when you're looking at the case itself, you see there is not a lot of room that basically like gives the option to suck all the air in. We do have like a limited space, you can look through it, but it is just enough for now. Then we have like it basically sucks the fresh air and blows it out, and this side over here. So basically the other side doesn't really do anything if you ask me. And underneath the 2TB drive. But the weird thing is that they made the choice to only add 1 RAM module. So what I understand of like when you're having like 2 RAM modules, you will have like dual channel and way better performance. But nope, they just slapped 1 of them in. Why? Why? Okay, so next up, let's take a close look at the menu itself. Loading times will take up a couple of minutes, but when loaded up, we're ready to go. Yeah. So when it comes to Botacera, booting it up, and yeah, you're just going to get the same layout we have seen many times before. For the people who are just new to the stuff, like basically you can boot it up and you can be ready to play. And when you're ready to play, I mean like everything, like emulators have been implemented. You can even add your games if you want to, but there is so much stuff you can, let's say, add to this. And with the power that we're having now, we should like have like amazing performance, especially with the later systems. Think about PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. So I'm excited to test it out just to see how everything will work. We don't have like any issues with N64. And also another thing is like, how is everything being configured? Next up, let's try some Sega Naomi. Same reason that we wanted to try it out is we just want to see how far we can push it. We'll put it on full HD. With the chip box we have like a lot of issues when we're going to put it on higher resolution. But so far so good, no glitching whatsoever. Okay, let's start off with some Sega Dreamcast, but not we're going to do this basic resolution of 640 by 480. We're just going to push it up to the full HD just to see how it runs. But with a system with this kind of power, you just need to have like the best, let's say, resolution set to it, because that's what we're going to basically paying for. So recently I did try some different boxes, but we do have like a lot of issue with these cheaper chipsets. But here you can see even like upscaling to high resolution doesn't need to be a problem whatsoever. We do get some smooth gameplay. Okay, so next up some GoldenEye with N64. I put it also on high resolution, something I don't do very often, especially with the cheap boxer, but I'm more like, yo, what the heck, let's push it up all the way to full HD just to see how it runs. You can see some minor glitching in the menu, but it is more like an emulator problem. Let's see how the gameplay in general is. Now we need to figure out which button it is. Oh, there it is. Alright, so next up let's play some Thomas Wave. Well, we had so many issues with this game in previous boxes. We do get occasional hiccup. I did put them on the higher resolution like I did with the other games. I just wanted to see how it runs and how it will look. Alright, so next up I wanted to play some PlayStation 1 with full HD resolution in combination with DuckStation, just to see how it runs and how stable it is. Of course, now we have like such a powerful box that we can play easily games like this on higher resolutions. Pretty damn cool. It still looks like shit. This is, by the way, the first game that I ever played on the PlayStation 1. So cool. Okay, so next up GameCube with 720p, just to see how far we can push this bad boy. Just left the statistics and the left top corner over there. Let's force them into 4:3 aspect ratio now. You can even like have a widescreen hack if you want to, but I'm not going to do that. Keep it simple, higher resolution. Alright, so let's see how it runs on 720p. Oh crap, wrong button. Okay, so next up I needed to like mess around with the settings because the normal settings were absolutely garbage when it comes to this game and PlayStation 3. I can say like the mini PC is going turbo mode now, so basically this thing pushes it to the limit. I'm curious if we can actually play some PlayStation 3 with rich ratio now. In the previous Super Console mini PC they had a lot of issues because it was not powerful enough, but with power like this it should be having no problem whatsoever. I have set it to 1080p. I'm just curious like how fast it will load up and how it will run. Now we do have some weird glitching going on, maybe we can fix with another thing, but I just wanted to see how the speed of the game is. Because yet with the Vulkan backend we can even push it up to 1080p. We're normally going to nerf the freaking PlayStation Portable. We're just going to push it to the maximum level. We're going to leave the buffered on, everything that we're normally going to do with tweaking to getting the best performance. We're even going to upscale it to 1080p. Just to see how we're going to get some results. We do some minor hiccups here and there, but besides that we do get an amazing performance. Take consideration, out of the box this thing runs okay, but it will run on native resolution, unfortunate. Another great addition to the Bottleshira lineup is Xbox Classic. Looking really forward to seeing how this will evolve in the upcoming years. Of course, like mini PCs like this are way powerful than the previous one I've reviewed, so we do get like amazing performance on this. Also, we need to have like a lot of updates maybe in the future to get every single game to run perfectly. But let's do some more testing and also upgrade the machine itself, because it only came with a single channel 16GB module. Yeah, that was a little bit of an annoying thing. I don't know why they chose to do that. So I wanted to upgrade it. I got myself some Kingston Fury and Crucial, if I'm saying it correctly. Yeah, and then let's see which one we're going to be having a best compatibility with. So the first thing that we need to do is remove the hard drive that contains Bottleshira. We're not also going to implement it back in the machine because we're going to use some Windows gaming. I wanted to see how far we can push it with some dual channel, and of course how is the emulation performance. Okay, so the construction is quite genius, if I may say myself. Yeah, alright, so let's remove the screws and let's get myself onto here. Okay, next up, let's slap 2 of the modules in. Let's go for the Kingston Fury. And let's check out, let's click them in. And the reason I basically bought 2 brands, if the other one has no compatibility with this main board, I can always get myself the other ones. So, alright, they're clicked in. So in total, it should be working. And let's go with the show. And let's take a close look with Windows Gaming and Emulation. Let's see if Crash is going to be crashing the system. With the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, one of my favorite games to play and to test on here. And yep, when it comes to this particular game, it runs around 50 FPS. The reason why, 1080p, everything setting maxed out. Yeah, this machine is not powerful enough to pull 60 FPS stable. So you can already see with this Windows game, we do not say problems. We can also mess around with the settings, going to medium. And with that, we're having a full 60 FPS. But I want you to just check it out, how far we can push this thing. Dead or Alive time, and let's take a close look with the Dead or Alive number 6. In the beginning it did have some stutters, but in the overall gameplay I didn't notice anything. This game has been put to the maximum, let's say, graphic settings, including some anti-aliasing and all the other craziness, just to push it, and so far just the system seems to be running it without any problem whatsoever, with some minor dips to 55, 56 frames per second, with some massive explosions.
Get ready, fight!
So when it comes to indie games, some of them are quite, let's say, demanding to the CPU-GPU combination, but this machine is more powerful enough to run most of your indie games without any problem whatsoever. You can just see that it even doesn't even hit the 100% on the GPU and the CPU combination, so that is great. But I can tell you that this thing gets quite hot over 70 Celsius with an indie game. Mini motor racing, man, this game is so freaking difficult, but it looks amazing. Everything set to high, and oh man, these CPUs are freaking brutal. I never could get into first place, but this is a fun game, and many of those older games run perfectly on the machines like these. Oh man, for me, this is absolutely going to be an indie game machine heaven over here. Something I just needed to try is that, let's get myself into the Super Street Fighter 4 and let's check out how far we can push this machine. And every setting has been set up to ultra, every filter you can implement on this game. I had a minor dip in the beginning of an intro, but beside that, the overall performance with older games, it's just amazing. So also take consideration as making this video, this CPU-GPU combination is not the latest one, so that's also the reason I just wanted to test out a couple of those older games. Moving on to the PlayStation 2 with 4K upscaling in Windows, and still get those weird lines somehow, but when you're looking at them you can see that it forces the GPU to 100% and it's not hitting the 60 FPS all the time, or yes, sometimes almost. So when it comes to PlayStation 2, oh man, this just pushes this thing to the limit. PlayStation 3, amazing. When you're looking at this, very fast loading times, and the overall gameplay is quite nice.
Don't
Getting into God of War or PlayStation Portable with the PP emulator, forcing this thing to all settings set to high, in other words 10 times upscaled rendering resolution. Has some choppy image, let's say warning in the beginning, but the overall performance is quite nice. So in Windows we can even force this thing into like some crazy performance, and when it comes to PlayStation Portable I can say that there is not a lot of restrictions going on over here. With Windows, I just wanted to check out how far we can push it, so let's go into the 4K rendering resolution, and this seems to be working without any problem whatsoever. But when actually playing some Windows games, you can just see that it does struggle, where basic games can not get to its full potential when it comes to the graphics. Of course, with a mini PC we're also having some limitation due of the form factor using laptop technology. Of course, if you're getting a dedicated GPU, it's going to be more powerful, but still we can play a lot of cool games with it.